Welcome back to the OPL 2020. We've got Chiefs versus PGG coming up, but before that...
So formal.
Well, please. I mean, the more you point it out, the worse it becomes. Rusty,
Yeah.
what's up with the river?
I had a moment when the game was on. I was like, I don't think that the river should be called the river because it's two separate pieces of non-moving water that aren't even connected, don't go anywhere.
This was on Reddit this morning, right?
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
I read it like offhand somewhere and was
Yeah.
like, hang on a second.
So this was on Reddit this morning. So what they said is I either want a tunnel underneath mid lane or mid lane to become a river. They want
Yeah.
a waterfall in top lane and they want some form of outlet in bottom lane.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Because right now it's stagnant pools of water. They're basically pools.
And then
can't
there was
the
an
alcove
argument about
be water?
forests as well. Like
Okay,
it's not
right.
a jungle.
No.
It is
not
like-
at all. It's not even a forest.
It's not even a national park if we're going to be realistic.
It's
Like,
a collection of trees. It's a botanical garden, if it's anything.
yeah, correct.
Backyard, really.
That's a good
It's a
point about
backyard.
the rivers and the pools, though, because I guess it implies maybe it's just dry, and so then when it rains, it would flood and join over the top
But
of
it
mid
clearly
lane.
doesn't because
But they would flood
makes
the.
it rain and that doesn't happen.
Yeah, okay.
So
What's
the
going on there?
alcoves should definitely be a mass of water, is at least in one of the lanes. I'm down. I ship that, and I think that there should be, the water has to run somewhere.
Do you know what it actually is?
What is it?
Stagnant water, texture-wise,
Yep.
can be played on toaster.
Yes, of course.
Waterfall, moving water,
Yeah.
can be played on high-end PC.
High-end potato.
League of Legend, potato viable game.
Yeah. No, that's.
How many
that's
people
very
would you
good.
confuse if you're like, they entered the botanical gardens to take away the red buff, and they're going to go towards the stagnant pools? People would be like, what has this guy been
What is
smoking?
this? What is
This guy
budget
should
game?
not be on the OPL.
Very true. I mean, look, I'm glad you finally said it. All right, it is time for the Nick Bag.
Yes.
That camera
Not the
seems-
Nick bag.
That camera seems to be doing something. I think they've connected that camera to the graphics button, so they hit that, and then it thinks it's a graphic. Good times. Welcome to the Nick Bag. This is where we answer all your questions about life, love, medicine, and relationships. Apparently, because the first question comes in from @anon. They wanted to keep themselves anonymous.
Okay.
How do you break up with a guy when he still has some of your really important belongings?
Face to face is the only answer to that, so you can get your belongings back.
Yeah.
So you need to go there.
You do.
Do you scoop it up first or after you've broken the news?
I mean, no, like, how adult are we?
Not very, apparently.
Well, it depends on everything contextually with the relationship itself.
This
right?
person asked for relationship advice to a segment that begins with a flying stork delivering a baby.
Okay, so I'm going to pretend that these are two human beings
Okay.
that have the ability to communicate.
First mistake, because this was Twitch chat.
Yes, okay. So obviously I'm at a very... And I'm also going to assume that it is a respectful relationship where parties are just no longer in love with each other.
Yep.
So if you are not in danger, you go to their place
Yep.
with something that can carry it, and you sit down with them, and like an adult, you explain the reasons why you're breaking up with them, and
Yeah.
then you take your stuff back.
Okay.
The worst you could do is do it over like text or Facebook and be like, hey, I don't love you. I need my stuff back. Bye.
Like put the onus on the breaker upperee to deliver
Well, like, you
your
know,
goods.
can you imagine being the one on the recipient end? You just look at your phone, you get a vibration, and you're just like, oh, cool.
Because that's immediately when you start burning those
That's
belongings.
instantly when you just be like, well, that thing that your grandpa loved, it's now in the bin.
Yeah, so alternative universe,
Yep.
this person's an asshole,
Yep.
and you're in some form of danger if you go back there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You
You
don't want... you
report
just
them
don't do that.
stolen,
Yep.
and give a number plate,
Oh, that's good.
which is their car.
Oh, that's very good.
And then you also give a rough description that's not too accurate.
Oh, okay. Like you've messed up the color of the eyes or
Yeah,
something?
exactly right. And then
yeah.
the police storm their house, find all your stuff, and you get it back. And they maybe get arrested.
I like that.
I've done the not that.
Jake knows this far too well. eh?
I know so much about
That
it.
was very clear instructions.
No, I've done the approach where I was the friend of someone that's had this issue and it wasn't on good terms.
Yep.
Where the solution for them was bring me and 3 other people
Oh, like a posse.
and collect it all as a group.
Okay, that's not bad. Arthur Pendergron OG says, you can't break up with someone who is dead. So that's dark. But my
Wow.
suggestion would be go to the house, do the breakup, and then go, okay, I'm going now, and then start walking down the hallway and stomp your feet really loud, and then start stomping quieter and quieter. Open the door and shut it, but stay inside, and then run into one of the spare rooms. You hide under the bed. You wait until it's nighttime, and then you sneak out, shoes off, leave them by the front door, so it's just your padded sockies. And then you wander around the house, collect all the goods, plus collateral. And by collateral, I mean some of their important belongings that you want to bring with you, not for any emotional keepsake, but to sell for that black market money, so that you can go, I got something out of this relationship.
What is this guy on?
Instead of you and the 10 years that you took from me, my best years taken from me because of you. And that's why I took your junior kick fight boxing trophy and I'm going to say 700 pounds worth of jewelry.
700 pounds.
I suddenly became British. Anyway,
Love
that's
it.
my solution.
Love
And then when you leave, you open the front door, pick up your shoes, put them on because it's probably raining, then walk outside, and then slam it really loud so that they get freaked out.
I'm getting word that's all we have time for, and the police are waiting for Nick out the front.
All right, good. Next
All
question.
right to good.
At Chimichanga says, I've got literally the most important interview I will ever have in my life next week. How the hell do I not psych myself out?
Well,
I think they're already in their own head.
yeah.
They're already there. You're already psyched out.
What did I say? What's that like? That one line? Is it like if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail?
Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance.
There you go. Same thing.
All you have to
I think a lot
remember.
of the anxiety and the stress comes behind you not feeling confident enough to put your best foot forward. You don't feel like you're going to be a good fit for the role. You don't really know enough about who you're going with. So I think if you kind of like take a lot of that into account, rather than it being them asking you questions and you saying X, Y, and Z, you feel confident enough to be like, well, what can you do for me? Yada yada. It's not so much a grilling of who you are and why should you join us.
Two
Just be
things.
prepared.
No one is ever like as good as they say they are, as
Yeah.
happy as they say they are, like as put together as they say they are. So know that your interviewer also probably shitting themselves because no one likes to interview people.
Yeah.
Your interviewer is trying to get their stuff back from an ex.
And every single interview is an interview of two parties.
Yes.
So you should go in there prepared to say no to the work environment if they are not a good interviewer.
Yeah.
Because majority of the time, if you're being interviewed by someone, they're either in an important role in HR, which can really destroy your life if they're not good, or they're going to be a direct line manager. And if you don't get along with them there, it's not good. So just think to yourself, like, hey, if this is really going to be my dream job, I'm going to walk in there, I'm going to love the person, and I'm going to have a great conversation about it, and it's going to be easy as anything. All the good jobs I've ever got, the interview has been so easy.
Yeah, I would always just say preparation's the most important thing to like for anything that you do in life, right? Not just the interviews, but like don't psych yourself out. If you know what you've got to say or who you're dealing with or the questions you want to ask them, like just be prepared for it.
Also, alternative. Google the name of the interviewer.
Oh, yeah.
Scour all their social media.
Find their secrets.
Find their
Yeah.
secrets and bring a manila folder.
Yeah.
Present said secrets to the interviewer. Tell them that if they don't give you the job, those secrets will be going to their boss.
I can just imagine Jake opening some like decrepit book. It's like, you see that time in 2013 in Manila?
Yeah.
What was this?
Well,
eh?
what you could do, you could bring 2 manila folders. You open up one and you go, this is the Instagram of Facebook and everything that everyone knows about you. Have a second folder. It doesn't even have anything in it, but you go, this is the stuff you don't want people to see. And then that way,
That's a
they're
big
like,
just-
what is in there?
It's like,
Like,
"Ooh."
I don't even know.
See? I'm telling you, this is...
Someone in chat called The Real Pulse said, I would prefer to watch a countdown to next match than this. That's fine. Just go away and look at your watch for
I'll
about
scream
35
real
seconds,
loud.
and then you can come back. And then that.
5.
I was going to say, this is
4.
actually like a good segue into, in general, look at your own Facebook one day and cleanse it.
Yes.
Like, you don't know what you've got on there. I didn't know what I had on there. I went back and looked, and when I was in high school,
Oh, it's
I
so
was
cringe.
a moron.
Yeah.
So
So
cringe.
I just went through and just deleted a bunch of stuff from stupid me.
Big time.
And people only found the less bad stuff then.
I'm also, Chimichanga, let us know what the interview is actually for, because you didn't mention.
Yeah.
We are assuming it's for a job. It could be for a relationship.
You don't interview potential suitors,
You do if it's an arranged marriage.
do you? I thought you just copped it.
There are game shows for
Well, I
this.
guess, okay, yeah, maybe you do. Unless you're the parent. What if this
That's
is the parent?
true. Parent interviewing
That's what I'm
parent. I
saying.
did not consider that.
In
Could
that-
be a student-teacher interview.
Yeah.
It could be.
Parent-teacher interview.
It very well could be. It could have been Ray's.
All of my advice still stands for a parent-teacher interview.
I think interview the interviewer is probably the best
I
advice.
feel confident on both ends, really, eh?
And I do think that the way to feel confident, 50% of confidence is going, I've got this, I'm actually worth it, I have self-worth and value, and the other 50% is going, that person is a trash fire, and they are just pretending that they're not. And
Everyone's
it's
got
knowing that not everyone is
mask
great.
on.
Yeah, that is great advice.
Remember, you don't have to pass the interview. You just have to trick them enough into hiring you.
That's right.
You'll figure out 95% of the stuff once you're in the job.
Yeah, it's like a relationship. They don't actually have to like you. They just have to think that they like
Exactly.
you. And then suddenly you have kids and there's nothing they can do about it. All right, it's time for game number 2. It is Chiefs versus PGG. Let's get the Chiefs line up and talk us through it. Skim.
Well, it's the undefeated boys. It's Tien in the top lane, Croc smurfing in the jungle, Claire in mid lane, Katsuri and Korea CK in the bottom side, and Coach Seal smiling ever so graciously, loving his life.
They are loving life indeed. They've come off their 7th win last night.
I always
They
see
are
them go
nigh
for these big
unstoppable.
dinners afterwards on social media, celebrating.
They got a
as bond.
Hurricanes. I mean, it's been a
love it.
tradition for like 4.5 years. Like since the OPL was in Sydney, this team has gone to Hurricanes after victories.
And before playoffs, right?
They get big steaks and ribs.
This team has eaten a lot of ribs then.
Yes.
A team that has not eaten as many ribs, potentially don't even have this as a custom, is PGG. Rusty.
Yep, Smiles in the top lane, Sully in the jungle, get back mid lane, Praedyth AD carry, and Rogue is your support. Western Way, of course, being the coach, and I would have to say, as far as performances go yesterday, pretty shaky until they found their footing. And this was against Mammoth, and it took them about 25 minutes to find that. And once they got it, they were fine.
Yeah, game of 2 halves is what we keep saying about this team. They should have lost the game versus Order as well because it was a very similar story. And it's funny because you look at some of these guys, especially, Praedyth in the bottom lane, and you think they should have good laning phases. Rogue's always had a really good laning phase, but they're just not able to get it together for the first 15 minutes of the game. But then the power of friendship and teamwork and
He didn't want to get too corny on that.
togetherness certainly apparently takes over.
Well-
So I've heard. Or Pete Carrawley comes in with a whip and, gets it back on track.
If there's a team you do want to get it together against, it is the Chiefs. You want to be the ones that take them down. Can PG do it? We'll find out after the break.
The Chiefs take on Peninet.gg in our second game of the week. It's week 4. And we are ready to jump
Second
into...
game of the week. It's definitely the 6th game of the week.
Did I say second game of the week? Second game of the day for this week
There
is
we
the
go.
clarification for that one as we jump into Macca's Champion Select. The Chiefs going to start off here by denying, Peninet.gg going to deny away Katsuri's Aphelios. He's loved it. He's only shown us that and the misfortune, so I wonder if that's the direction they're going to go so we can see the battle at the bot lane.
And I wonder if Ornn gets any attention here, because Biopanther, really good Ornn player, struggled to play into it yesterday. Thien struggled to play Ornn yesterday, but still picked up a win. Also, Tempo Jungler taken away by the Chiefs in the fact that that is Sully's Karthus gone. However, has not taken away the Nidalee just yet. And Sully, big Gragas player. Wonder if Nidalee wins that matchup. I think she does, from memory. I'm sure I'm going to get lots of angry tweets from my jungler. But I'm going to say Nidalee, winnable matchup.
It's interesting the direction that Chiefs have gone, right, with these initial 3 bans. Very heavy focus on the global and the scaling factor that you've seen Peninet.gg utilize in the past. Definitely wanting to make sure that if we're fighting on our terms as opposed to you just coming in almost like an aerial bomb delivery and choosing the terms at which you dictate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, taking that on again makes perfect sense. However, the response of, I was going to say the misfortune as well as a Braum is like the traditional response that we see from other regions, leaving up the best AD carry. A little bit peculiar to me, because now, once again, Praedyth's probably going to have to play something like an Ezreal. And we tried that into the Ornn, and it didn't work very much.
It just keeps surprising me how teams are just giving Katsuri these comfort picks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you have a look at how dangerous the Chiefs lineup is, you understand why Katsuri kind of gets swept under the rug a little bit. You're too busy trying to deny Croc, Claire at the end, their kind of power picks. So it makes sense that Katsuri more often than not, is on really strong picks. But I do tend to agree with you. I think that Misfortune and Aphelios should just be a higher tier of 80 carry than any other pick in the league right now.
I'm sure we're going to have a very happy Rusty upstairs, knowing that Bard has been locked in. We saw what Korea CK could do when he locked in the Blitzcrank the other day. We're going to see what his skills are like when it comes to the Bard.
This is the exact same lineup that we saw yesterday, Skimmy, and the game did not look all that comfortable against the Mammoth lineup, let alone running something slow and scaling into the Chiefs. The definitively best team in the league at the moment, 7-0, and the fastest team in the league is a very interesting strategy as far as I am concerned.
Yeah, I need to see something pretty strong on picks 4 and 5 here for Pinanet to try and turn this around because, yeah, as we saw, unless they decided, look, we made a few crucial mistakes in that early stage. We know what we did. We think we've got it on lockdown and we think we can bring it to the Chiefs. I can't see much changing in this one otherwise.
Huh. Yasuo banned away from Get Back. Certainly not a pick that he's like really known for, I would say. Obviously can play it because teams know more than I do.
May just be a blanket ban as what was on yesterday as well.
Yeah, I mean, Gragas Yasuo is certainly just a really strong combo. So I can respect the fact that they feel like they need to get rid of it, especially if there's nothing else really there. I mean, maybe a LeBlanc ban if you're looking for generic mid lane ban number 2 could be good.
Triple bans onto Croc, denying arguably the top 3 at the moment.
Yeah, interesting that they went with the Lee Sin ban, because historically Gragas is one of those picks that you can play really nicely into Lee Sin. His Body Slam kind of ruins any momentum that Lee Sin's going to have throughout the game. For those that don't know, kind of mucks up the insect combo, as well as doesn't complete damage on the Q, so dueling's really hard. Also clears at a relatively similar speed, which is important.
And they're going to lock in the Aatrox here to match the top side. I'll leave that last pick as the mid laner to flex in and see what Claire goes for here.
Do we see the Diana? Diana's been completely left open. It was a Chiefs Especial.
Yep.
Both Thien and Claire like to play that one. And I do think it is a really strong pick.
Claire's played it twice and definitely showcased that he can get aggressive. Definitely can get the work done, but he does like this Rise as well whenever given a chance. Played it yesterday, said that he felt he got carried by his team, but definitely still was able to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, Ryze has always been a really strong Claire pick, and I think that that is one of those lanes that they can still mix around. Thien can play Ryze as well in the top side of Summoner's Rift. I think that it's not the best lane into Aatrox, however, should still be able to win early at least. Aatrox kind of loses every lane until he gets maybe boots 2 and then double CDR items.
Here's the Lucian flex potentially. Ooh. This would be nice.
We haven't talked about it. Lucian's gone all the way through pick ban. I don't like this pickup. So they'll probably go with it because it is a counter to Ryze. But in my opinion, this is so hard to play into Jarvan. Yeah. As long as Ryze and Jarvan aren't coming from the same angle, Jarvan just walks in and ults you. He doesn't even need to use the EQ combo. Everyone always says you can interrupt the EQ with your, Scatter the Weak. Which is great until he just walks into range of you and then presses R.
Yeah.
And then people are like, well, what happens if you just get him out of the way? Then Ryze snares you up. I just think there's too much CC for Syndra to comfortably deal with in a Ryze Jarvan lane. So even though isolated, if it was any other jungle, I think that Ryze into Syndra is a good pick. I really don't like it into Ryze Jarvan.
Yeah, I follow the same sentiment right now. You look at the amount of dive initiation that the Chiefs have.
Yeah. 2
abilities to get in your face with Ryze ult and the Magic Journey from Bard as well.
Now I
understand. Should be pretty safe in the backside.
I understand why they didn't go with Lucian, because there would have been too much AD damage, and they're running into double tank, maybe even double tank at the minimum, right? So I think you can make the argument that press the attack, Black Cleaver Lucian isn't going to be able to do enough damage as the game goes on to be able to get through that. But I think there still are other picks. Pick something a little bit more heavily for the split push. Go a Cassiopeia. Or maybe go something that is a little bit more tanky in your own right. I mean, Get Back does have a really large champion pool. Historically has played Sion really well in the mid lane. I just feel like this pick in the Syndra can and should get camped out in the early game. And we'll have to run cleanse, and I expect it to be blown pre-level 3.
Well, we do have Coach Sale on standby. Very happy man, I'm sure. Coming into this one 7-0. How did it feel after taking down Legacy? All the preparation that went into it?
Well, personally, I was actually really upset because I feel like we played maybe 40%. We made a lot of early game mistakes that we thought about and we talked about in game, but still made anyway. So the bot dive shouldn't have ever happened. And also, we made a couple of mistakes in draft too, with the 3-pick Rise and the 5-pick Braum instead of taking Thresh. So overall, like, we weren't too happy with our performance, but it's always one step at a time. I'm human as well. Other than that, the Ornn pick. So I think the Ornn pick's really broken right now. So I'm putting Tien, who's a carry top laner, into Ornn. So we're obviously happy with today's draft and yesterday's as well. In that manner.
Croc has just died. So, obviously not going to be all that happy when he gets upstairs. Talk to me about kind of that mentality, though, because I think a lot of OPL teams have now said scrims are going much more promising than stage games. There's been lots of interrupted weeks. Like, what is it from your angle as a coach? Like, why are these OPL players all kind of singing the same tune?
I think the difference between our team and other teams in one way is that we truly play scrims to improve. Obviously, doesn't look like that since Croc just entered, but when we play scrims, I grief scrims like off cooldown, so my player's mental goes boom all the time. Every single second that we spend playing the game, every single action, every single click in the house, I always say counts toward our championship run and counts toward how we perform internationally. And so every decision that we make is to prepare for that week and to prepare for our future. So I think a lot of the issues right now when it comes to scrims and scrim productivity versus actual game day efficiency, it has to do with how well do we use scrims to actually improve. And what I'm trying to bring to the table is, okay, we have had this system in OS for a long time where we're just nonchalant and we just take what's there and we just go with whatever happens. But we're saying, okay, our region has its own flaws. We're going to do everything we can to catch up to the other regions by doing things that other regions can't, and by understanding that we have these inherent disadvantages. So, yeah, we definitely have that mindset when it comes to both solo queue and scrims.
It's nice to hear. And I want to talk about your support player just quickly, because he's kind of one of the most unexplored players in the OPL. Korea CK, how do you think he's fit into pro play so far?
Obviously, CK hasn't played pro ever. He's never played a stage game. And a lot of people thought he was a Thresh one trick. But after working with me and seeing him in solo queue, as a lot of people have noticed, he definitely has a much bigger champ pool than people have realized, and that has really helped us win a lot of drafts. Other than that, he's very vocal, and he's around my age, so he provides like a leadership voice within the team, and we tend to be a lot with tilters, but including Claire, we now have 2 people who can mediate and hold our mental during games when things don't go our way.
And on that final point, mentioning communication, Claire mentioned on the couch yesterday that you were a great middleman to sort of bridge the gap between language barriers from Croc and Korea CK. How is the communication as a whole now going into these games? Because it looks pretty on point for the most part in these team fights.
Well, actually, after talking to CV Max while I was in Korea, I have adopted the mentality that you don't really need comms to win. I think obviously it helps that I'm Korean, but in most cases we like to go with everyone should know, or fundamentally, what their role is within the game. Everyone should know how they should be positioning or playing these team fights or setting up an objective. So we actually minimize a lot of our comms, and then I teach them the fundamental aspects of the game. So and then we really deep root that in, so we don't necessarily need to speak a lot of English. And other than that, CK's English has improved a lot, and so has Croc, so that's helped a lot.
Beautiful. Well, I look forward to seeing what happens in this game today. Thank you very much, as always, there, Seal.
Okay, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
4 minutes into this one, Chiefs taking on Pentanet.gg. It was a bit of a crazy one as it started off with that kill onto Croc, but what did you gather whilst you're analysing the map, especially with that jungle pathing?
Yeah, what I saw is really good defense of his own blue buff from Sully, given the fact that, that they spotted out Croc on an early ward as well, and the fact that bottom lane was able to start in lane should have been super good for Pentanet. However, the fact now that they're getting shoved in just shows the power of this Misfortune and Vard lane, right? This is double roll counter pick in my opinion, and I really think Pentanet.gg should struggle in this laning phase, and they have started to. You saw also a crossover of mid lane from Croc, which was really well done. Hold the thought, because there is a gank in the bottom lane.
He's got the boots, he's got the Predator, he's looking for one target and one target only. It was going to be Katsuri of no mana, but it is now Korea CK. Bashed against a wall, but he pops through the portal. And just like Harry Potter, somehow ends up in another dimension.
Sure. Still, it's going to be double Summoner Spell Bert there for no Summoner Spells on the side of PGG. So that's a good game coming through from Sully. Korea CK will use a couple of his little shrines to be able to heal himself up, so he'll stick around in lane as well. And once again, like that's a little pressure reprieve, right? But still, pressure is very much on for this bottom lane. You can see Katsuri chooses to stick around, even without summoner spells. That's how confident they are. They have Croc in the area as well. They do not want this lane frozen. They know they should be winning very heavily here. That door is facing the wrong way. Interesting. Oh, this is really nice. Rotation actually coming out of Biopanther. So you see Claire, he thinks he's playing on his safe side of the lane, but Bio is actually on his side.
He's in trouble right now. He flashes over, but he's got so many members on top of him. Beautifully coordinated, fantastically executed. Pentanet.gg, 2 kills on the board.
Yeah, that was really nicely rotated down from Bio. I mean, as I said, Claire thought that he was on the safe side of the Summoner's Rift. He's thinking to himself, as long as I'm away from Sully, I'm going to be able to live here, right? I've got the flash available. However, Bio, really good tempo cheat. You would think that Bio was on a back right there, just given where his lane position was. However, was not. Goes back, gets himself a kill. Now back in the top lane. Oh, Sully misses out on that crab.
Croc does deny it. A level up so far despite the first blood on him.
Yeah, the fact that he's 2 camps ahead when he died first blood, pretty impressive. It's one of the things about...
Rogue does not connect.
I was going to say, obviously, that's one thing about the Gragas is you have to pick up boots much earlier, so it does hurt your farming speed. Once again, let's have a look at this. So Claire's posturing towards top side of mid lane because he knows that's a safe area. However, that is a very nice ult coming across. Scan of the week also there. Probably didn't need the flash in the end, but obviously safe than sorry. And 2 kills already early in this game for Pentanet.gg. We should probably give a little bit more credit. We've said their early game has been quite poor lately, but this seems like a much better showing.
Well, this was the question, right, coming into this one, if they've been able to patch things up with a rather similar composition, if we would see a different tune being sung in this game, and so far, looking pretty promising. I'm interested to see where Tien goes with this build, because we've seen a lot of them go for this Bramble Vest in the 1v1 matchup against an Aatrox. Would quite like to see them stick with the Cindy, rush into the Sunfire, and go for the pushing power that you've been quite critical of too.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that Bio should have taken his reset earlier here. What we saw there is that Bio actually cancelled his recall and then came back, and now that wave is completely crashing bottom lane as well. If you recall straight away, we actually saw this in the order game, you're going to be on this bottom lane first, and as the duo of the Chiefs recall, you should be able to get a push out, and then Bio should be able to walk up river. Gives you like an immediate Herald flip play. You have to be able to hit Herald on that flip. And obviously, right now, they've got a similar thing, but you can see that Bio is actually stuck underneath turret, and Tien has his teleport and ultimate available. So there's a small window right here, if they haven't been thorough in cleaning out these wards, where Chiefs will actually have a winning team fight. It's a big risk here for Pentanet. That doesn't look like they're necessarily going to be punished, because Croc was also on reset.
Well, Korea CK now looking to try and establish some form of vision.
Here we
They
go.
were blind
Actually,
at the
it's right
moment.
here.
The Rift Herald starts at 3k. Sully dashes away. The teleport comes in from Tien. They say, thank you for the start. You've donated us half a health bar. And we'll gladly, very gladly, pick up this objective.
And see, if what had happened was Biopanther took that first reset, he would have been on the map about 20 seconds quicker. And this wave would already be down here. He would be heading up river. And this would have been a really nice mood for the PGG lineup. The fact that they didn't go for it, they hesitated, made the exact same mistake that Order has been making in their games, means that this is a big winning play right now for the Chiefs lineup. They've got themselves CS leads in roles where it's really crucial, like jungle at the moment. Experience lead there as well for Croc, and now the fact that he's got himself that Rift Herald as well means that they can potentially look to start breaking down some of these turret plates. They're going for a hard trade here as well.
They are. Praetor is going to TP down to bot lane to try and find some form of tempo. There's already Tien waiting in the wings. Happy to wait and happy to respond. Croc might just say, well, if you're going to go for the Drake, we're going to push in topside right now because they have 3 members strong. Not a single plate has fallen so far. But if there's not a strong response, it's only Bio at this stage. They may be looking for a tower, possibly even 2.
Yeah, so the thing is here is that drop was like half of a plate too early. What you typically want to do is take 2 plates yourself and then drop a Rift Herald. We've talked about this a little bit, Jimmy. That gives you an automatic break on first charge. That Rift Herald probably would have been still alive for a charge onto the second turret there, and you can start pushing for the 2-for-1. Look how long this part of the turret takes. It actually
because of the armor component, right?
Yeah, correct. It will actually allow maybe a dragon to be picked up here. However, Sully not going aggressively for it kind of is confusing me, because in this situation, you're never taking this bottom lane turret, so you have to trade up another objective, which is typically Dragon, but the fact that they haven't even started the Dragon right now, Pentanet's early game, I'm not in love with it so far. Obviously, still some things to work out.
It's a love roller coaster for your spawn.
It is, because I really like
with
this
your
team.
heart.
Yeah, I really like PGG. I think like the personalities on the team and like their flexibility has been really nice. But I think that they are hesitating a little bit in this game. Obviously, they're playing the undefeated top of the table. You can't really blame them, but
Sure.
they have been a little bit slow on their movement so far. If you have a 2-kill lead, you probably want to be a little bit further than 300 gold up for 10 minutes.
Put into perspective, Chiefs on average usually get about double the amount of kills that Peninet get in a game.
Yeah.
So Peninet need to find some objective pressure, be it structures, neutrals, or some form of split push, side lane aggression.
If a
Otherwise,
game-
Chiefs are just going to find those fights and just execute.
Yeah, if a game goes at a kill a minute and Chiefs are in it, I would expect them to win, 80 or 90% of those games. Just individually, kind of what Seal was speaking about. He's put a lot of time into drilling his team about how he wants them to team fight, what that process actually looks like. So I think...
Tien's just looking for the 1v1. The flash comes out, and that would have been a brittle proc. That would have been an
might die
execution
now.
under Braid if he's in a situation where 3 members are collapsing. Rogue actually going to disengage because it says, look, boys, you don't need me. You pick up that one. Both carries finding gold.
Yeah, really nice teleport coming in to get back there. Sully does have ultimate available, but not going to use it just yet. Now uses it. Just trying to clear out this turret. I think that's well done.
So the 1-3-1 from Chiefs does get disrupted with the kill onto Tien on the bottom side. 1 3/4 of a plate gets taken in the mid side.
And that's just a little bit of inexperience from Tien. So the combo that people are looking for, because they saw LS do it on Reddit, is if your Q lands, you can immediately ult, charge, get a brittle proc off the second part of your ultimate, W brittle proc, 24% maximum health damage going to be done immediately, plus all the rest of the damage from your spells with Ignite is typically a one-shot on any champion after level 6, right?
Pretty strong for a tank, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's broken for a tank. At level 11, you get another shot for a one-shot. So there's 2 windows in the game where typically you'll get a one-shot if you land that combo perfectly. Thien must have thought that he had enough of the combo on right there with a wall charge as opposed to the Q landing. But obviously, Praetor reads that really nicely, flashes away, doesn't get caught in any of the combo there. Whilst he does get ignited and brittled once, it meant there was enough time for the get back teleport to come in and pick himself up a kill. I like that it was get back that teleported there, despite the fact that it gave up some mid lane plays. I think that TM would have maybe walked away from Biopanther, given the fact that he is so armor stacked. Whereas when you have a look at get back, obviously quite accelerated right now on this Syndra. It does do a lot of magic damage. And we have quite a normal Summoner's Rift right now. Even though top lane turret has been broken, everywhere else quite equal. Yeah. And I would say in terms of gold, a lot of parity. I mean, only 500 the difference.
Both teams quite happy with this 1-3-1 split right now. You'd argue Chiefs more so. It's what they're comfortable with, what they're familiar with. And the gold is starting to even out as PGG do still take the lead. A lot of that has come down to the fact that they found a few kills, but most importantly, being able to rotate through and pick up those tower plates.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that right now, Claire, going to use that Realm Walk to get out. I was going to say, they're just bouncing kind of pressure around Summoner's Rift. You see that Sully as well as Rogue head up into this top lane. They're going to look for some play here. The counterplay could be that you regain control of mid lane or you try and shove them out of your jungle right here. And Chiefs now going to have a little bit of a window to be able to make their play as well. The tools you have to worry about in scenarios like this are what we call the tempo cheat tools. That's the Bard ult, Magical Journey, Rise, Realm Warp, and the 3 teleports that are there on the side of PGG, right? These are all the things that you're looking that can get you around Summoner's Rift a little bit quicker than what maybe your opponents would expect from you. Next objective coming up is going to be that Rift Herald. And you can see it already. They've pulled Biopanther this time around out of the lane nice and early. He's going to cover mid lane wave. They're going to try and pressure this top lane turret and potentially set up for a Rift Herald in a much better fashion.
And with Peninet.gg being there first, they're the ones with the vision, as you can quite clearly see, defensively set up by the Chiefs, aggressively set up here by Peninet. Chiefs will be blind on this one as it does get started up. Sully this time not looking to disengage, no barrel all away. Chiefs slowly going to start to filter in now. 2 members in mid lane. Katsuri and Tien coming on through. Rift Herald down to 3k. Looking to start things off as the Cataclysm lands. The All-Not to follow and the bullet time comes out. Tempered Fate finds nothing, but Rogue finds his flash being exhausted. He's looking to run away. Double kill for the AD carry of the Chiefs. They don't care about no objective. They want blood.
And that was really funny because I'll explain what happened in a second. Croc looking to take away a camp. Potentially Bio going to stick around and try and stop that one. No, he's not. So what happens there, right, is you play perfect League of Legends. You get control of mid lane, you walk through, and what the players are saying is they can't walk through our vision. There's just no way they could do it.
Yeah.
Like, we will be able to kill them if they do so. But then they start walking through. And the players, because they're so convinced that no one is going to actually challenge that objective, they're like, how do we fight this now? Like, and then Croc, with the stopwatch, does a really great job of building Warrior this game. I was very vocal about this. When there's Syndra in a game, I love the Warrior build. Does like 90% of her health, lays it really beautifully with Katsuri's ult. And right here, you have to be ready to turn. Sully needs to be where Rogue is. They need to be pushing up, and this should be a 2v4. They should be turning right now. They should be saying, guys, they're on our vision. We must go. Sully doesn't go. Croc gets the access. Rogue isn't in front of his carries, and that means it is just an easy winning team fight. But the thing is they won that fight 2v4. No one else hit anyone apart from Croc and Katsuri there. That should have been a PGG fight. They just weren't expecting it to take place in that area.
The triple overlapping of the ultimates right there, zoning out the members, almost feeling a little bit like a Baron attempt where you're too fixated, almost like your solo queue game. Look, we got to get the Baron, but you got to peel away. You got to try and disengage.
Well, that's why you put a control ward in that brush, because as soon as they walk up to that brush, like, that should be flash body slamming, like looking for any way to start this fight, right? But obviously that's not what they go for. And now they've lost mid lane turret. They've lost their gold lead.
Yeah.
And the difficulty thing, part of that is the way they got to that fight first then was by having the ability to push out their waves. You know, Bio was slightly ahead. He could push and move. You know, have a look at the mid lane wave. I talk about this all the time, but it's really hard to push into Ezreal because of his Q spam. So he had control of the wave. Now that you've got yourself a 17, probably going to be about a 3,000 gold lead after this creep wave and turret goes down, it's much harder to push these waves.
And they've gifted Chiefs a big opportunity here with their item builds. Saracen Brace online now for Claire. You've got the Essence Reaver online for Katsuri's Misfortune. So big power spikes in that regard. Korea CK now unlocking Australia's Reverie. So they've got mobility. We talked about mobility with the Realm Warp, with the Magical Journey, the Flag and Drag, multiple tools to get in the face, primarily of Get Back, if anyone. Kraven's going to be a little bit harder, a little bit more elusive with that dash, with that flash, but it's going to be a rough game so far. Get Back single disengage or maybe even engage tool is that GLP, and haven't we found much value out of it so far?
Yeah, absolutely not. And I think that when you have a look at the map state now, you can see that all waves are pushing. They get really nice control over what they want the isolated or weak side to be. That's Claire. Now they're moving in top side as well. They're checking out the brushes, and you can see that if there is a fight this side of the map, Claire doesn't have to come. He just holds Biopanther there, and then the big tank is going to rotate into this jungle, and they're going to be pretty much unrivaled. They take away all the jungle camps right now, so they're going to look to maybe even pressure a top lane turret. And PGG is just in the darkness.
They're going for the 1v1. It's going to get disrupted as Sully rocks up with the cast. Does not respect it, but he won't care at this level of play. Picks up the shutdown, gets the kill. The Chiefs looking to try and find value in two lanes. Pentanet do shut that down, and now do respond with some own pressure by trying to take down his mid-tier 1.
And so that's a really great response. And the reason that is a really nice response is because that is the isolated lane. Now Praetor might be in some trouble.
Tempered Fate does have the flash, does have everything necessary to try and duke this one. Burns the summoner, so may have had actually that cooldown not available.
Yeah, he looked like he ate onto a creep wave after he pulled a little bit of aggro from the turret. And you can see that was a mistake that cost him, you know, 3.5 minute summon as well.
Korea CK probably pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he would have seen him do it. He knows that if you throw a Bard ult from on the same screen, as long as you put it in the middle, boots too, won't be enough movement speed to get out. So unless you have something that dashes you, you're going to be completely fine. That should have been nearly 2 broken turrets, you would have to say, this kill. Biopanther does a really great job of winning the 1v1. Let's see how he did it. So he pops the ulti nice and early. The immediate Heartbreaker stab, gets a flash out of Claire as well. Flashes over the top of the Empowered. Sully throws a party cast because he doesn't want Biopanther to have any gold. If I'm Bio, I'm a little bit pissed off by that one, to be honest, because I need to be able to win this split push. I've just burnt my flash, my most important resource, to be able to do so, and then my jungle has just nabbed a 600 gold shutdown or something for it. But in saying that, now you can see that they have this one pushing lane, and this should be an area of pressure for PGG to be able to play around.
Baron up in 15, and the next Drake will be the Ocean. That's up in 50 seconds, so we'll look to see exactly how these teams respond, where they put their priority on that vision. A lot of it expiring now, as you highlighted before in that bottom half of the map for that Claire and Biopanther 1v1 side lane push. It was almost illuminated like stage lights, but it wasn't enough to prevent Sully coming on through. And being able to pick up that kill. So wait to see now where the priorities seem to take place. It looks to me as if Kuroseki just playing the Bard minigame right now, just collecting those chimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as he's running around collecting the chimes, Zoomin got 3 behind him at the moment. Also would just be looking for a little bit of shallow vision to protect his, isolated side of Summoner's Rift. Once they clear out all this vision from PGG, get a couple of wards for Claire, maybe one over the Wolf Pit or in between the highway rotator there, should be able to just, once again, leave that lane isolated. I still think Claire should win the 1v1.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't last time. And that means that they should be able to play towards this Baron side. Looks like Dragon right now could be the focus, however.
Seems to be that is the play. Tempered Fate makes the tower go gold, and that's a beautiful statue. Maybe a trophy if Nick Boy wants to take that one home with him, but he won't be able to find it because it's in the rift. As Tien joins the fight with the TP, disengages the boys out. Predator online, and that's all it's going to be.
Okay, so we have a tricky game of League of Legends right now because it looks like the Chiefs are getting, I wouldn't say desperate, but I would say creative in their decision-making tools. They use a Rise Well Morph to try and turret dive right there. They also use the Bard ultimate to shut down the turret temporarily. But at this stage in the game, Bio is really, really tanky. He's got himself, that Durham's Fist. So as you take 20 creeps off Summoner's Rift, that gives you an extra 100 health. Makes you really tanky. Going to build that into a Sterret. As well as the fact that he's got Merc Tread. So he's really hard to lock down in CC, right? Not to mention, we've already talked about the mobility that Aatrox gets through his short dashes. So I think that they may be playing towards the wrong side. This is a side of the map where Claire should have control through his push, through being able to chip down turrets. I really do think they need to be playing around the end side of the map.
Yeah.
But PGG so far, this mid game is starting to once again look like one of those mid games where they kind of lost control of the early game. Things started going badly. They made a couple of really crappy decisions. And now it's like, cool, past 20 minutes, we remember how to play League of Legends again. Let's get all back on the same page. Let's talk about what we want to do.
It's a game of 2 halves, and at the end of the day, the winner is League of Legends. As you would say it, level 13 there for Tien. He's got the cookie cutter build online with the Sunfire and the Abyssal. Comes straight through to mid to Greek Katsuri, donates him an upgrade on towards that Infinity Edge and says, keep leading the line. You're the one with the bounty, the only one in this game. You're 2-0. You're playing flawlessly. Keep it up.
Now look at where Praedyth is on Summoner's Rift. So Praedyth has teleport. So he's going for a bit of an alcove gank here. You can see that Bio pops that ult.
Bio does have the flash available in about 5 to 10 seconds. He's just diving under tower right now, taking a fair chunk of his health. Ultimate burnt. Multiple members on the bottom side, as you say, but the saving grace for them is 2 teleports available. They're going to come in defensively right now, sorely channeling, sorely waiting. Rogue and get back face checking. Their Tempered Fate only finds one. Look at him in the air! The Glacial Fissure! It looks so beautiful.
And that was a little bit of miscommunication between CK and Thien. So when CK ults, Thien should immediately ult there because he knows that it's going to be blocked by Braum if he does not. However, it was a little bit delayed. Braum gets the shield back up. Initiation is staunched. Bottom lane turret was picked up there. However, maybe not enough of an objective for Praedyth's teleport. Now they're going to start this one up again.
And Chiefs are quite happy right now because both side lanes are pushed in right now. They put Pinanet in a situation. Are you going to collect that? Are you going to contest this one? Because Baron's down to half right now. Smites are available. Jungle difference is 1 level.
Are they going to hold this pull? No, they're not. They burn another teleport to try and stop this Baron, but Claire doesn't move. That's a huge win for the Chiefs.
Chiefs play chicken. They do the dance. And they burn out very important summoner resources. Claire just sitting in the bottom lane playing like an island. Very happy with how that one's turned in his regard and finds himself up about 30-40 CS.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is the thing, is they're just holding Claire's isolated pressure, right? And this is one of those games where Rise just is a monster of scaling. You can leave him on that one-on-one island. You don't have to rotate into any play. It's not like you're playing a Zoe side lane or something like an Aatrox side lane where you ultimately want to end up with 10 people on Summoner's Rift, so you have to be able to pull them across. Rise excels at 1v1s. And you see Molten Edge now picked up. See what Rise goes for, whether it's going to be something like a Zhonya's, so that can be upgraded as well by the Ornn.
Would seem to be the case. He's already got the armor in place.
Maybe a Locket going to come out for the CK. Not the preferred item for the Bard, but certainly is useful if you can get another ornament upgrade. Obviously, it's going to be the Cleaver upgrade for Croc. Also, probably going to be GA, so he's in good one-hit territory right now on this Jarvan. Level 12 should be able to go at Praedyth, who has no armor to his name whatsoever.
And without the teleports, you can see that Pinanet a little bit scared. A little bit situated on let's stick as a 5 and let's go hunting, let's go fishing, let's go finding members to break apart this squad, because Chiefs continue to bring it to them with the 1-3-1 split. They know that Drake's up in 40. They know that Chiefs will then get themselves onto a sole point, but they're just flirting with the idea that, hey, look, if you can test that, we've got Baron available and we can shred it.
Yeah, it's the exact point. Katsuri nearly caught out there, does have to take a magical journey. Ult comes in.
Here it comes. The shield isn't available to Temper Fate this time onto 2. They're going to isolate out multiple members. The bot lane of Penanel are gone. He goes golden after the fact. He just wants to stay like that. Get back surviving. The final clip as he gets out of AoE range. Tien is low, but BioPanther will get that kill on the board. Sitting at 2-0 now. Happy with that one. Get back survives. That's the talking point. Chiefs lose members.
And you can see Claire did not want to teleport to that play. He was so late because he's communicating, if we just don't fight, I'm going to take their base.
Yes, yes.
But in the end, he has to teleport. And PGG still win the team fight. Now, they're going to lose the Dragon because they want to buy a Whisker, right? A couple of members on no health whatsoever. So they're not going to have good positioning on the map. But maybe time enough to be able to clear out this Baron area, get a little bit more control. Chiefs still very much in control of this game, Skimmy, but this is a mistake that maybe could have bit them a little bit harder. We see again, there's no Braum Shield, so they go for the ultimate. That is going to be a really great ultimate from CK onto 2 members. However, the extended stopwatch there kind of ruins the day. Get Back survives on no health whatsoever. And Suli's choice to ult CK there, I'm not in love with, because it meant that Katsuri kind of had free roam on the back end of that fight. If you look at the tools that they have to threaten Katsuri, it really is a cask. Like, nothing else is going to be able to, you know, bother that misfortune at all as far as front to back goes. And as long as Katsuri stays behind the tank, a little bit of a MMO team fight comp coming across from the Chiefs. I talk about it all the time. They've got a mage, they've got a AD carry, and they've got, you know, a couple of utility players running around there as well.
Farming up their best in slots right now.
Yeah, whereas you would have to say the PGG lineup is a much more MMO style comp. It's a little bit more brawl heavy, right? So I think that the Chiefs have a much easier time picking these fights, whereas PGG certainly have to play a little bit more clean League of Legends.
Chiefs will now be threatening with that Ocean Soul being online. I'm very worried if we get to a situation where Chiefs have that in their possession. A lot of what Pen and Nat have amongst their arsenals, you're talking Syndra, you're talking the Ezreal, a lot of that, even the the Gragas as well, a lot of that just gets completely nullified.
Yeah, and now that Claire's used his teleport, it's really important to note that they actually have to play Tien in the long lane, like away from the play, because Claire has to be able to come in impact. And this is going to be in complete, you know, exactly what PGG want. And the reason for that is that the only person that can really tank Baron without taking any damage is Tien. And now he's in bottom lane. So that dance where they just kept bringing people across to, you know, control that Baron area. At the end would start it, you know, take a little bit of damage, but then the Bard would heal him back up with a couple of shrines. That dance is over. As long as Tien's in this bottom lane, they have that window where they can relax. It's about 2.5 minutes right now. So I would expect that the next major team fight we see is actually going to be over that Ocean Soul.
I'd say so.
I think Baron's going to be kind of ignored by these two teams for the next couple of while, and to, you know, clear out some vision and set up bottom side of Summoner's Rift.
Definitely going to be a game of threatening. Who's going to be the one to make the move to actually face check that one and decide if it's worth contesting or not. Claire now flipping with Tien, as you highlight. He's in the top side with Tien having that teleport and barrier online for the 1v1 matchup, but there's no one there at this stage.
And again, PGG deploy through mid lane. So you can see that they really want to fight right now. They feel like the game of scaling is going to go in the Ornn's favor, so they need to be able to force right this moment. So they're actually the team that is forcing mid lane pressure by walking 5 members there and seeing what the response is from the Chiefs. Now the issue is that because the Chiefs know they scale, they're not going to do anything.
They're not. You can just see Claire backs away safely, takes some jungle camps. Tien, once again, hasn't pushed actually really far, farther than that bottom river. So they're respecting the fact that, look, we can take as long as we need. You've got another minute 30 until that comes online. We just keep scaling with the ornaments. Penanet, you're the ones that have to try and make something happen here.
But they just don't have the tools to be able to do it, right? When you have a look at Engage, Suli's got really Suli's Splash Body Slam, and Suli is 5 levels lower than Claire, 3 levels lower than Katsuri, and 2 levels lower than Tien. So not going to be able to do anything there. He's also the most gold-starved member on Summoner's Rift. Croc has 2,000 more gold than Suli at this stage of the game. So, like, that's not really the option that they need to look for. He's so squishy. He's only got himself like 1,700 health as well. Croc would be tankier than that and would have a higher damage build. Take a look at it.
Let's see how it happens when both junglers meet.
Okay.
That's the difference there.
Now there's no flash body slam because he just had to use the flash to run away.
I'm worried, Spawn. I'm really worried because the engagement tools are very lackluster. You're fully now reliant on that Zhonya's to try and find some life. He does have the stopwatch as well, so he can go golden twice. And he's going to utilize that pretty optimally to make sure he can juke out important skill shots or find value, but without that flash, as you highlight.
Okay, so they're going hard right now. This looks like a play onto Claire, but he spots it.
He spots it indeed. He comes through mid. Once again, the bottom lane of Peninet gets locked in place. The Ornhorn actually just comes across like a missed train. Biopanther looks to try and jump in. Styrex gets popped. The shield, the tenacity, the ability to live on through, but the denial on Katsuri. Shutdown was important. The wombo to deny the bullet time from finding that ultimate AoE cleave. Peninet gifted a situation here.
CK's
Hungry
in
for
trouble
more.
as well.
CK, I don't think he has the magical journey available. He needs to get this. He can't be denied it. And Spawn, Peninet find the situation so very close to Ocean spawning.
Yeah, absolutely. And now that's going to be Drake picked up, so that delays the game for the Chiefs. And PGG just keep finding moments of being able to make a play. Get Back was so brave there.
Yes.
He walked into the bullet time to throw an ultimate at Katsuri to kill him, and then was forced to flash away at the end. But that was a winning move in that team fight. If he does not go for that play, that bullet time absolutely shreds everyone. Probably a fight for the Chiefs. But PGG, again, they just pick their moments, and their coordination in these fights is superior to the Chiefs.
He's an absolute patriot.
Yeah, you saw Thean once again throw an ultimate from Ornn over the top of 2 gold members. Like, that does nothing, Thean. So I think that like the Chiefs are definitely in this for the long con, right? Thean would much rather be playing the Aatrox side of this matchup. But Pentanet, back-to-back team fights, has done okay.
What is the situation right now after the back of that victory? Looking to establish some vision now.
Well, this mid lane turret stops any vision. I've kind of reached into every part of my League of Legends storytelling for this 32-minute brawl fest so far. So mid lane turret,
T1 stands strong.
yeah, it still stands strong. So the issue with that is that you can't push mid lane in enough to control either side of the jungle. So you're always going to be playing like neutral vision at the best. So that's why they keep coming back here to try and take this turret down. Should fall on this wave.
They will find it this time. And thankfully at that 32 minutes into this game, mid tower will open up the map just a little bit more, allowing him to now replace the vision towards the bottom side, primarily around that Baron pit. I hope to not emulate what happened with that Rift Herald. Gold Spike, yeah, does obviously show a 1k difference for Peninet, but as we've always highlighted, a lot of ornaments online. You got the Solari, the Infinity Edge, the Black Cleaver, and the 2 that Tien has completed right now. Chiefs definitely sitting at 60k and beyond.
Yeah, and they're actually being greedy with their ornaments as well. They've said, okay, we're not going to close this one out just yet. Let's finish up a Death Cap, not even involve the Zhonya's, which obviously Death Cap is one of the best ornament upgrades, along with Sunfire Cave. So I really like that call from Claire. He says, you know what, if we're not going to lose the game in the next couple of minutes, I'm just going to be the greediest Rise I can be. And no one can still match him in that bottom lane.
No one's going to respond to it at this stage. Firepanther finally taking the call. And we'll meet up for a little cheeky brawl.
But Bio is 2 levels behind Claire, right? And he's a full item down. So in the straight up 1v1, I think he will still lose out. The fact that he has got himself a Spirit Visage, pretty good itemization to be honest, because Claire hasn't got himself any magic penetration just yet. So I think Bio's probably won himself a couple of minutes of being tankier than he maybe should be.
Doesn't have the flash, however, so may not have been able to find that fight if it was to go.
He doesn't want to fight him. He wants to just clear that wave out, you know, keep him at bay. I would say a fight in which Bio keeps Claire from the fight is more important than a fight where Claire keeps Bio from the fight, right? You have a look at him. He's 385 CS, level 18, 4 items versus a 280 CS Aatrox. I think Claire's certainly more pivotal to the Chiefs' game plan right now.
Absolutely. 100 CS up on that side lane matchup. And it feels like it's definitely going to slow down the pace of this game a little bit more, mainly as a result of that Rabadon's, as you highlighted, now coming online.
Is this the Chiefs' longest game?
I'd have to actually find out.
I think it might be.
The average duration of their games is 28 minutes.
Yeah.
They tend to close these games out pretty quickly, Spawn. They don't mess around.
This is a 35-minute. Like, let's say even if there's one more team fight into a push, I'm going to say it goes for 37 minimum. That's a pretty long game for the Chiefs, and it's very low kills. This is how I expected Legacy to play against them. Kind of drag them around Summoner's Rift and try and win that split push battle. However, now Baron started up for the Chiefs again, and this time it looks decisive.
The call is made. True Shot Barrage comes out to scout
Teleport
things out,
coming in.
as a lot of those wards have been denied. Ornn going to start. Ornn going to whiff. Ornn going to wander away with his head between his hands.
So once again, they get the teleport out of Biopanther, so it's not for naught, although Ultimate goes across.
It does.
Oh, Jarvan in!
And that's a Jarvan onto 4 members of Praetor jumps out. The Tempered Fate! Everyone locked in. Who's going to set things up? Bullet time! It comes out big. It doesn't find as many as they would have liked. They've got 2 so far, but can they steamroll ahead? Every ornament is in their pocket. They are antiques. They are legends. They are undefeated, and they don't want to fall down today. 6 kills tonight. It's been slow on the kill department. It's been about macro. It's been about patience. But there's not enough kills in that little skirmish to justify anything there, Spawn.
And it might just be that the Soul goes across now, because 18 seconds until Soul spawns. They're going to be ready, weighted, set up here to be able to take that one down. So that is a really nice team fight for the Chiefs. You can already see the Ocean Dragons helping them out there. Ocean Soul going to only do more. But that looked like such a scrappy team fight again. This time, however, Katsuri got the completed channel of the bullet time against multiple members. No Braum shield there. Rogue not able to get it up in time. And Chiefs finally have some control. Take another look at this. This is a brave move, but that's a 4-person Cataclysm into a 3-person Bard ult. And you can see Katsuri lines up here, all 4 members in that bullet time. Rogue gets shredded, even with the door up. And Bio,
he took
looks
no
like
damage.
He wants to fight here, right? However, does get chased out, does fall down. The whole while, Get Back had held his ultimate. And the Chiefs just able to run away with it. No shield available. Bio in the bottom lane, no teleport. Could have Ornhorn mid lane.
Ocean Soul is there as you highlight. Once again, Baron gets a visit, knocking on the door. Is this the time they fully commit? Have they got everything online? Have they got the buffs? Have they got the damage? Have they got the ability to close things out as we reach that mythical number? Level 18 for the major carries. Clear is sitting there. Get Back is there. AD carries at 17 and climbing. They're going to try and start things off as Croc goes in with the Cataclysm. Once again, it's the Wombo combo we've seen. Oh, they get expired golden as he comes out with the Ornhorn. This time Rogue gets deleted. This time Katsuri finds a interruption on that bullet time. It's a familiar story. Get Back has his number, and he ain't afraid to dial it right now. Biopanther trying to do whatever he can. He's full health, but he can't find a window to jump into this team fight. Praetor is kiting, but he's just going to get blown away as we look for the ace. Chiefs do not die, but Chiefs do execute.
And that's going to be the game. The Chiefs finally get the team fight they're looking for. Claire takes everyone to the inhibitor turret, and they will be able to run over the top of PGG.
38 minutes, the longest game the Chiefs have played this split. 10 minutes over their normal average. It took a while, we stayed a while, but we saw it. The Chiefs still remain undefeated.
And such a back and forward game. Dragon Souls coming into play. Once again, the Ornn Itemans at that stage of the game probably adding about 8,000 gold of value. And the Chiefs, they gave up on the 1-3-1, to be honest. They said, you know what, if we're going to win this game, it's going to be through doing what we do best. It's going to be through team fighting. Pentanet.gg held on for such a long time, but they just weren't able to get those late game team fights in their favor. It was always even or slightly behind. And that meant the Chiefs just continued to accrue advantages and ultimately take the game.
Very impressed regardless for the performance that Pentanet were able to put up on display today. Definitely compared to what we saw yesterday and how they really brought it against the Chiefs. You talk about a shaky early game. It had moments of magic, it had moments of disarray, but if they were feeling the nerves up against an opponent of this strength, they definitely gave them everything on full force today.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that we saw the first glimpses of the Pentanet that people expected to see in the preseason, right? This was a very hyped up team, but in the end, Chiefs do manage to pick up the victory.
Well, game 2's done. The boys are back. Let's chuck it back to them for another interview.
Chiefs are inevitable, but PGG made them feel that one.
Yeah, it made them work for it. It wasn't the easiest game. There was a couple of moments there where I thought maybe, Pentanet were bringing it back, but they didn't in the end. The Chiefs still get those big team fights, and a lot of little clutch moments, I would say, from some individuals make the difference there.
Katsuri, how did it feel on the other side of the wall?
I think their comp is just really hard to just end the game through one team fight. They were playing really safe, so the game just stalled. But our team had an Ornn, Rise, MF, it just all synergized with Ornn. So I kind of knew we were gonna win, from the way they were playing.
Yeah, just dragged on for a while.
Yeah, it just
right?
dragged on.
Yeah. My question for you is actually about that, because the way that I see the Chiefs play is pretty fast paced. It seems like yesterday as well. That's a style that you guys like. This game was obviously against a team that likes to slow things down. Is that a comfortable style for you guys, or was the draft just saying even if it's not comfortable for us, it will at least get us over the line?
Well, it's a bit. I'll say uncomfortable for us because we usually play we just want to fight, and most teams in the OPL generally come into us, and we like that. But I think PGG is the only team that just they always try to avoid the fights. They play around the map smart. So stylistically, Pentanet's I've always thought they're one of the better teams into our style. So it is a bit frustrating versing them, but this is how it is, I guess.
Do you feel after the win against Legacy yesterday, is there now a pressure on you guys because you're undefeated and undefeated against the best, not just the rest? Or is it now you've proven yourself and you go, oh, we can actually see a clear path forward?
Well, coming into the split, even though our record is already looking nice, I think our team, our coach really put into so our mindset as a team, we have a very gladiator mindset where we already knew we were gonna be at the top. So I thought of it as if we drop a game, we lose a point in history already. So yeah, I guess it's, I don't know what else to say. It's just,
Taking it all seriously, right?
Yeah,
There's no difference in pressure.
the pressure was already there week one.
You put the pressure on yourself in week one, so that was just you were proving everyone right, including yourselves. Well, congratulations on the win. Go enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you guys right after this short break.
Things off as the Cataclysm lands, the All-Out to follow, and the bullet time comes out. Tempered Fate finds nothing, but Rogue finds his flash being exhausted. He's looking to run away. Double kill for the AD carry of the Chiefs. The shield isn't available to Tempered Fate this time onto two. They're going to isolate out multiple members. The bot lane of Pentanet are gone. He goes golden after the fact. He just wants to stay like that. Get back surviving the final clip as he gets out of AoE range. Tien is low, but BioPanther will get that kill on the board.
Oh, Jarvan in.
And that's a Jarvan onto four members of Praetive jumps out. The Tempered Fate! Everyone locked in. Who's going to set things up? Bullet time! It comes out big. It doesn't find as many as they would have liked. They've got two so far, but can they steamroll ahead? Every ornament is in their pocket. They are antiques. And once again, it's the Wombo combo we've seen. Oh, they get expired golden as he comes out with the Ornhorn. This time Rogue gets deleted. This time Katsuri finds a interruption on that bullet time. It's a familiar story. Getback has his number, and he ain't afraid to dial it right now. BioPanther trying to do whatever he can. He's full health, but he can't find a window to jump into this team fight. Praetive is kiting, but he's just going to get blown away as we look for the ace. Chiefs do not die, but Chiefs do execute. It took a while, we stayed a while, but we saw it. The Chiefs still remain undefeated.
Introducing Macca's Mini Games. Play today and win on the My Macca's app.
Woo! Winning!
Every play wins one of your Macca's faves.